Black households have the lowest home ownership rates in both the city of La Crosse and La Crosse County. That's compared to other races and ethnicities, according to a 2019 study. Local leaders are considering ways to improve home ownership rates, especially for black residents. But it's not going to be easy to turn that around. News 8 Now's Mal Meyer investigates why this could be and what could be done to help more people find a place to call home.
Their love story started in La Crosse.
Yeah, we met in middle school.
The relationship continued from high school to college, leading up to their big day.
In March.
For some time, Javon Whitesell wanted to buy a house, but his wife Katie wasn't so sure.
We weren't really looking. We kind of told ourselves we were going to wait a year before we did.
Things don't always go as planned.
I work with Castle Realty.
She was scrolling through the listings when a house on French Island popped up.
Went for a showing that night and then went back the next day for a second showing, and then we wrote an offer.
Initially, it wasn't accepted. They're both young and have a limited credit history, and they say there were other offers.
We were kind of expecting to not get it, but it was still like that heartbreak, so.
Yeah.
But someone else's bid fell through. Katie says she wrote a letter about what the home would mean to them. She must have said just the right thing.
It just happened so fast for us.
But not all are so lucky.
What the study found was there are definitely racial inequities.
Caroline Gregerson is a community development administrator for the city. City officials worked with partners in La Crosse and Monroe counties to create a 176-page fair housing study. Information from the U.S. Census Bureau shows in La Crosse, the home ownership rate for white households was about 52%. But
less than 5% of black households that live in La Crosse own a home.
To Javon, that's unsurprising.
Honestly, no, not really.
He grew up on La Crosse's north side.
I feel like just growing up, it was common for most of the friends or people that look like me to grow up in apartments, and that's just kind of a norm.
There may be a few reasons why.
Historically in the United States, black and brown families have been locked out of home ownership.
Hetty Brown is the executive director for Crosse County. She says redlining, minorities being unable to access programs designed to help, and banks not being set up in predominantly black communities have all led to this point.
This is history that we see today when we look at these wide disparities.
You see it in the numbers. Study looked at information from more than 8,400 home purchase loan applications for La Crosse and Monroe counties. The largest number of applications came from low-income applicants.
Black households were denied a loan at a higher rate than low-income white households.
The two biggest reasons were credit history and debt-to-income ratio.
Many diverse families have an income where actually they could afford a mortgage, but they may have student loan debt or other loans that they're paying off that prevent them from getting into a mortgage.
Her organization helped with the study and offered to help follow through on the recommendations.
CAP offers a number of programs to help people achieve home ownership.
They have a program that helps potential homebuyers with direct financial support for down payment and closing costs. She says based on the history, other inequities and trends, part of the problem is a lack of wealth.
The way that you get people into home ownership is by offering that direct assistance.
The nonprofit also provides homebuyer counseling for people planning to buy a home. The study recommended using funds for these exact kind of offerings and then have the city and county work with local organizations to advertise these programs to communities of color. That education piece was critical for the Whitesells.
Even though I work with real estate, there's still a lot of things I didn't know as being a first-time home buyer.
And it also recommended meeting with local lenders to discuss goals for furthering fair housing when it comes to home ownership. But it's going to take more than that.
To correct those issues, it's not going to be one program or one service. It's really about government, social service organizations, and the community coming together to have a broader conversation about how racism manifests in these programs and what we can do to overcome it.
Because owning a home can build economic stability and wealth over time.
I'd like to see more people that look like me own homes and own their own property and be able to establish a nice place outside of apartment building.
It quickly pays off.
Our mortgage is barely more than what we're paying for rent anyway, so it was definitely worth doing.
It's exactly the reason why the Whitesells wanted a place to call home.
Buying a house, it was just a really big accomplishment, I feel like, for us as a family, and I'm really proud of where we're at.
In La Crosse County, for News 8 Now Investigates, I'm Mel Meyer.
And this is a part of a series of reports looking at systemic racism and issues of racial justice in our community. You can find more on our website at news8000.com/News8Now Investigates.